أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أما بعد, the book we have been studying for about 2-3 weeks now is that book by Imām Rajab al-Hanbali rahimahullah, Al-Farq Bayna An-Naseehah wa the difference between An-Naseehah and At-Tibyān. An-Naseehah is to give somebody good advice. When you want to give him good advice, you want to tell him that something that he was doing was bad. He should stop it. And he should do that one you want to guide him to, which is good. That is called An-Naseehah, giving good advice. As for At-Tibyān, it is insult and abuse. When you are abusing him and insulting him, you will also be telling him what he did that was bad. So both Naseehah and At-Tibyān, the two of them, they have one thing inside them that makes them look like themselves. What is that? Inside the two of them, like Ibn Rajab, Shaykh, rahimahullah, يشتركان في أن كل منهما ذكر الإنسان بما يكره ذكره. The two of them, they have one thing common. What is that? ذكر الإنسان بما يكره ذكره. You will tell him what he does not like to be said about him. If you are correcting him, you will tell him something he does not like. If you are blaming him, you will tell him something that he does not like. So this makes the people think that Naseehah is what? At-Tibyān. Some people, because of this mixture, they think that every Naseehah is what? At-Tibyān. And some people think that every Tibyān is what? Naseehah. A man can be correcting his wife. Abdullah, don't do this thing like this. Don't do this thing like this. Do it like this. She'll start, why are you abusing me? Why? No, I'm not. I just want you to do like this. She'll be taking Naseehah to be what? At-Tibyān. In some cases, some men too, they'll just be abusing their wife. Look at you, look at your head, look at this. So when she say, why are you talking like that? This is Naseehah. If you like, take it if you like. But that is actually what? So there is a difference between An-Naseehah and what? At-Tibyān is haram. An-Naseehah is jaizun or mandub or wajib. Naseehah can be what? Jaiz, allowed. Or what? Mandub, encouraged. Or what? Wajib, you must tell him. Or you must say it when the situation requires. So as different as they are, one is haram, one is halal. It may even be wajib. People are mixing them up. So that is the reason why we want to know what are the differences between An-Naseehah and what? At-Tibyān. We mentioned a lot of ahadith in the last class that shows that At-Tibyān and Al-Ghiba, they are haram. Allah hates it. Even regarding a Muslim who has died, Islam does not want you to start talking about something that he did that were bad by way of criticizing him. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, إِذَا مَاتَ صَاحِبُكُمْ فَدَعُوا. When one of you passes away, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, "Fada'u, leave him alone. Wala taqa'u fi." Don't begin to criticize and harass. Leave him. Likewise, in the last class, we also discussed those things, those circumstances that the religion wants you to talk about that person's faults. We said there were six situations. Because the Imam says, rahimahullah, that اعلموا أن ذكر الإنسان بما يكره محرم. We all agree that it is haram to be talking about a person regarding what he hates. He does not like you to say that kind of a thing about him. And you are saying it. It's haram. إذا كان المقصود منه مجرد الذم. If what you intend by saying it is that you just want to abuse him, you just want to blame him, you just want to point to his faults, you just want to bring him down, you want to show his shortcomings. If that is all you want, it is haram. So al-ghiba is haram if all just what you want, you just want to show that the man is bad, you just want to show that the woman is bad, that is what you want, then it is haram. Brothers, it will be difficult for anybody to be free of this trouble. Many times we mention people with their faults just because you want to show, just because you want to express his faults. No any other reason. Doesn't it happen like that, Rafiq? Just talk about the person. If you ask, why are you talking about him? I just want to talk about him. Don't mind him. This, that. If it is just that you want to point out his errors, you want to point out his faults, you want to abuse him, you want to insult him, you want to bring him down. If it is just for this reason, no any other reason, that it is haram. Islam does not like you to be mentioning the faults of your brother. Unfortunately, some of us think that it is deen. Pointing out, exposing that fault. People think that it is religion, basically. If you ask them, what do you want to get? Say, we just want to say it. It's haram. The Imam says, rahimahullah, ذكر الإنسان بما يكرهه محرم إذا كان المقصود منه مجرد الذم والعيب والنقص. فأما إن كان فيه مصلحة لعامة المسلمين خاصة لبعضهم وكان المقصود منه تحصيل تلك المصلحة فليس بمحرم بل مندوب إليه. فأما إذا كان فيه مصلحة لعامة المسلمين. But if mentioning his fault includes maslaha, benefits, لعامة المسلمين, for the generality of the Muslims, or خاصة لبعضهم, or that some Muslims will gain when you mention that person's faults. وكان المقصود منه تحصيل تلك المصلحة, and the reason why you are mentioning his fault is that you want to gain from that benefit. The Shaykh says, rahimahullah, فَلَيْسَ بِمُحَرَّمٍ. Mentioning him with his fault is not haram if it is for benefit, if it is to seek gains if it has advantage behind it for the generality of the Muslims, or for some eminent people amongst the Muslims, or some of the Muslims. فَلَيْسَ بِمُحَرَّمٍ. It is not haram. بَلْ مَنْدُوبٌ إِلَيْهِ. It will even be encouraged to do that. So in the last class, we started telling us those circumstances when it will be encouraged to even talk about the fault of that Muslim. The first condition we mentioned from Al-Imam An-Nawawi in Kitab Al-Adhkar, we said there are how many? 6 conditions. 6 conditions. And the 4th one has 5 conditions. There are 6 conditions. Condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, condition 4. Under condition 4, there are about 5 other conditions. Then we have condition 5 and condition 6. The first condition we had explained previously. At-Tibyān ila sultan wal-Qadi. You want to complain about zulm that someone did to you. Ila sultan, to the constituted authority. Someone cheated you and collected your money. You went to the police and you started telling police, I gave him this, I gave him that, then he stole it, then he collected it, then. This is called what? At-Tibyān ila sultan. It is what? It is jaiz. It is allowed to mention the faults of a Muslim in that condition. It is not haram. Now when you are complaining to the police, someone comes or to the constituted authority, or to the principal. A student takes your book, a student takes your car, a student takes your shoe, your Bible. I will report you. You went to report him. This student, this. You say it's haram. Why are you talking about me behind me? Say it's not haram. It is at-tazallum. You have been unfair to me, and I'm complaining to constituted authority. Or to a teacher. Someone does something bad. A woman can also complain to a learned person or to a court. A woman can go to a court regarding her husband. The husband can go to a court regarding his wife. It can be between the parents. The father can go to a court regarding his son. We have seen that happen in the time of the Prophet Muhammad. Alayhi salatu wassalam. When a father took the son to the court, took the son to the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam, seeking judgment. Yazid. And who? Ma'na Yazid. The father took the son to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He gave some money to his son to do sadaqah. The son put the money in his pocket. Because he himself was in need of the sadaqah. So the father said, no, I did not intend to give it to you. The son said, but you intended sadaqah. I myself, I needed the sadaqah. So the two of them, the father took the son to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The scholars say this is evidence a father can take the son to the court. A father can take the son to the police. And what was the Prophet's judgment alayhi salatu wasalam? Laka ma nawaita ya Yazid. Wa laka ma akhasta ya Ma'ak. You have the reward for what you had intended. What did he intend? You to the son. What you have collected is yours. What did he collect? Sadaqah. The father intended what? Sadaqah. The son wanted what? Sadaqah. So you have what you intend, you get what you wanted. So the point there is, when the father was reporting his son to the Prophet, that's evidence. Because he feels that there is zulm. I gave you money to give for sadaqah. You kept it in your pocket for yourself. The son said, my father, it's because me too. I need the money. I also needed the money to do this. I know you must give me the money back. No, you intended sadaqah, daddy. Okay. The daddy took the son to the Prophet Muhammad. So in that tadhallumi ila sultan, when you go to complain to constituted authority, it is not considered as what? Riba. Is this clear? Likewise, al-isti'anatu ala taghyir al-munkar. You want to seek help to bring a change to a bad condition. Somebody does something very bad. You want to go and meet Mufti. Abu Fulan has done so bad to me. Or he did so thing with his wife yesterday and I saw it. Please help me talk to him. Al-isti'anatu ala taghyir al-munkar. I've heard that too. One woman one day she called me, she said, my husband is watching football. He will watch football, the time of salat will come and he will not pray. He will say, I will pray later. She said, this is his phone number, help me tell him that it is haram. Is it giver or not? It's not giver. What is that? Al-isti'anatu ala taghyir al-munkar. Seeking help to change something that is bad. So a man can do it regarding his wife too. The wife has an uncle, or a father, or a teacher. The man can go and report to that person. So is doing so. And then he complains, please help me talk to her. And then they call the woman, why are you doing like this? This bad, this, that. Change. She says, inshallah, I will not do it. Or she starts crying, I will never do it again. She starts crying. I've had cases like this and seen cases like this. So when the husband was talking about what the wife did, is that giver? No. What is it called? Al-isti'anatu ala taghyir al-munkar. This is maslaha. And this maslaha is li khassatil muslims, for some Muslims. So if it is this maslaha that makes you talk about him behind him badly, it is not riba. It is called what? Naseehah. The third one, al-istiftah. You want to know the ruling of what somebody did. Somebody did something. Please, what is the hukum of this? That time you are saying what the person did. You are speaking about him badly. And that speaking about him badly, it is not considered as what? Riba. We mentioned the case of who? The wife of Abu Sufyan. What was her name? Hind. What did she do? She went to ask the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Her husband used to give her money for herself and her children. But the money was not enough. In fact, when she was talking, she said, Kana Abu Sufyan shahihan. Abu Sufyan is shahih. What does shahih means? Somebody who is stingy. Is that not mentioning him negatively? Does she intend to bring him down with that? What does she intend to do? She wants to ask for the ruling of what she did. What did she do? She will go to where he's keeping his money to take extra money that will be sufficient for her and for her children. And the Prophet gave her, yes, what you have done is lawful. You can see the Prophet was not telling her, why are you doing giver? Don't tell me about your husband badly. Don't tell me bad things about your husband. No. Why was she allowed? She was allowed because she was making what? Al-istiftah. She was asking for al-fatwa, the ruling regarding something. Although ulama say if you are making al-istiftah, if it is that you don't mention the name of the person and you can still get the fatwa, it is better not to mention his name to get the fatwa. But if you mention his name to get the fatwa, that is also what? Allowed. You go and say, oh, Ustad, Abdul Fattah collected a biro from me yesterday. I brought that biro from home. And he was supposed to return the biro to me. Instead of returning the biro to me, he borrowed Abdur-Raūf. So I wanted to retrieve it from Abdur-Raūf. Abdur-Raūf refused. Is it lawful in the first place for Abdul Fattah to loan my biro that I gave him to another person without my consent, you can ask this question from Abu Muslim or Abu Ahmad or Abu Ishaq. What are you doing? You are making al-istiftah. It does not mean that you are making what? Riba. Is this clear to us? The other condition we mentioned in the last class, the fourth condition that we say it has 5 things under it. تحذير المسلمين من الشر, warning the Muslims against a particular evil. For example, جرح المجروحين من الرواة, جرح المجروحين من رواة الحديث والشهود. جرح المجروحين. Somebody comes to report a hadith about the Prophet Muhammad, and that person tells lies. The scholars of hadith will say this person is kadhab. Have you heard that before? They will say this person is da'if. When they say that is da'if, what they are saying is that his mind does not keep something. If they say, go behind there, how many of the ummahats did you see, oh young man? He goes there, there are 5 of them. He counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After Maghrib, they ask him, when you went to check, how many of the ummahats did you see? He said 10. He said, are you sure? He said, I think they are 4. They ask him again, are you sure? He said, I'm not sure. How many are there? They ask him. I think they are up to 11. And he only saw 5. This kind of person, his thought is not to be relied upon. If he transmits hadith, his hadith will not be accepted. Or when he went to check, he wrote it down in a paper and he kept it. This kind of a dhabt is called dhabtul kitab. Writing, keeping down information by writing it down. Keep it in his pocket. So he went to check how many ummahat, 5 ummahat. He wrote it down. Put this in his pocket. After Maghrib, when he went to make wudu for Maghrib, he threw the paper away. So when he came, how many were the ummahats did you saw? He started saying, oh, he didn't even memorize it. He wrote it down. Thinking that what he will do is that once they ask him, he will just bring it out from his pocket and read it. Now he has thrown the paper away. So he wrote 5. So when they ask him, how many? Say, the paper where I wrote it, I have thrown it away. So how many did you say? I think there are 15. I think I wrote something like 5. 1 and 5. So he says 15 or 51. This kind of a person, he does not have dhabt to kitab. And he does not have what? Dhabt to sadr. No dhabt of memorizing things in his mind. No dhabt of keeping a document properly. So he's da'if. So tomorrow someone tells you, that person, let's say his name was Abdul Mannan. Abdul Mannan. Now, what is the hadith? You say, oh, the hadith is in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. Somebody who knows him very well say, hey, one day they were asking him, he didn't remember. Today he's saying that Bukhari and Muslim, let me go and check. You go and start checking. Because you don't rely on his own memorization or on his own thoughts, writing down the kitab. So when they say, why did you not realize, he's da'if in? Why is he da'if in that? He doesn't keep something. He doesn't remember things well. You are saying it that he doesn't remember things well. Is it diva? No, it is not diva. You are just mentioning the circumstance of that person as far as reports are concerned. He may even be someone who wants to be witness in a court, and you know that he drinks alcohol. He is the one that the woman brought as witness to say that the husband promised her a mahar of 100,000. The husband said, I didn't promise 100,000 though. It was 100,000 kobo that I promised. I did not promise 100,000 naira. The man said, I was there. So he went to court. He wants to testify. You know him that he drinks alcohol. So instead of hearing 100,000 kobo, he heard what? 100,000 naira. Why? He drinks alcohol. And you knew him. So the judge said the witness should come forward. He came in as a shahid to give witness. And they say, no, you can't give witness. The judge will ask you, why did you say he can't give witness? Say, I know him, he drinks alcohol. Is this clear to us? So when Ruwatul Hadith, you always hear this reporter is da'if, this reporter is munkar, this reporter is majhul, this reporter is mubtadi, this report like that, mukhtalit, and so on and so forth. All of these things that the scholars of hadith talk about, those reporters who report weak ahadith. Shabab, there are a lot of books about this. Reporters of hadith who are weak. Imām An-Naseehah has Kitab Ad-Du'afa. Imām Al-Zahabi has Mīzān Al-I'tidāl. Mīzān Al-I'tidāl is about 10 volumes. Ibn Hajar has Lisan Al-Mīzān, 11 volumes. Weak reporters. And the evidence is that they are weak reporters. All of these things is talking about the weakness of those people. Is that giver? No. Why is it not giver? Because we have a need to explain that these people are not suitable to collect and transmit hadith from who? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we allow them to transmit hadith, they will tell us what is not from the religion. We will think that it is from the religion. They will tell us what is from the religion. They will tell us that it is not from the religion. So those who will receive their reports are those who are reliable. Ruwat. Likewise, someone comes to you under tahzirul muslimin min ash-sharr. A man comes to you, he wants to marry his daughter to another man. He's asking you, is he a good man? Maybe he's your friend in the street. He's a very good man. Very, very good. This is haram. It's haram. Why is it haram to call a bad man good man? The Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِذَا اسْتَشَارَكَ إِذَا اسْتَنْصَحَكَ أَخُوكَ فَانْصَحْ لَهُ. إِذَا اسْتَنْصَحَكَ أَخُوكَ. When your brother comes to ask for your sincere advice, فَانْصَحْ لَهُ. Give him sincere advice. You know the man to be bad. Why are you telling him that he's good? You see that you have contradicted that hadith. So you have a duty to tell him, don't marry your daughter to him. When we were in school, he did not used to pray. I don't know whether he prays down. In fact, he delays. Every day is in the toilet. Every day is in the toilet. When they call Allah and they start the qama, he's in the toilet. Every day, that's how he behaves. I don't know whether when he grew up and went into the university, he changed though. But the time when I knew him, that was how he was behaving. You have done your own. Or someone wants to do business with him, and you know that he collects people's money to say he wants to do business, and then he eats up the money. So someone came to say, there is one brother, Abu Jamal. I want to do business with him. Do you know him? You say, yes, I knew him. He was our neighbor. In fact, we used to pray together in the same masjid. Can I do business? Say, don't do business with him. You can do everything with him except what? Business. Why? If you give him money, he will not account for it. He's poor in that. This one you are saying something bad about him. But the Sharia obligates you. Compulsory you must say it. In this circumstance. But you know what? Let me say this here. The scholars say, if they ask you, for example, that, can we marry our daughter to him? You knew him to be stingy. You knew him to be what again? He's stingy and he's harsh in his dealings with people. Then he abuses people a lot. then he does not fulfill his promises. Only him. This is dangerous, so may Allah protect all of us. If it is sufficient for you to mention one, don't mention two. He has 4 problems. If it is sufficient, when you mention one, there are 3 others. Don't mention those 3 others. Mention only one. If mentioning that only one will be sufficient for them to accept that they should not do business with him, or they should not marry their daughter to him. That was why in that hadith of Fatima bint Qais, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he spoke about Abu Sufyan, what did he say? He says, وَأَمَّا أَبُو سُفْيَانَ فَسُعْلُوكٌ لَا مَالَ لَهُ. Abu Sufyan is su'luk. Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan is su'luk. The scholars say that time the Prophet was talking, he was su'luk. After he became very rich. Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan became very rich after that. But that time the Prophet was speaking, alayhi salam. He was what? Suruluk. He doesn't have money. He will not be able to take care of you very well. It's okay. As for Abu Jahl, la yarfa'u asahu an atiki. He will not remove his cane from his shoulders. Like I told us in the last class, how many meanings does this hadith have? 2 meanings. One is that what? He does not discipline a woman. So if a woman marries her, that woman will be spoiled. The second meaning is what? He beats women a lot. So if you marry her, every day he's beating you. So if you marry him. So don't marry him. He mentioned only one thing. Why? That one thing is enough for Fatima bint Qais to know that he should not marry Muawiyah, to know that she should not marry Muawiyah, to know that she should not marry Abu Jahl. Is this clear? The third condition is you know someone wants to buy a slave. That slave steals, he makes zina, he drinks alcohol. فَعَلَيْكَ أَن تُبَيِّنَ ذَلِكَ لِلْمُشْتَرِي لَمْ يَكُنْ عَالِمًا بِهِ. Somebody wants to buy a slave or buy something. Someone wants to buy a car. I remember a time 2 brothers want to buy a car. The other brother liked the car so much. The other brother knew that the gear of the car was bad. Say, this car is good, it's fine, but the gear, it always has gear problem. Meanwhile, take it that it is another brother, a third brother who wants to sell the car to them. Or your neighbor has a car, is using the car is giving him problem. He managed to repair it, and then he placed on it for sale. Abu Abdullah came to you. Please, I want to buy this car. What do you think? Sir, it's very good because it's your neighbor. Yeah, good car. And you know that that car was giving your neighbor trouble before he wanted to sell it. Then you can even go behind and start saying, Abdullah, I have psyched, that's what they say. I have psyched him, he will come and buy it. Why you know that car is bad? It's haram. You have a duty to explain to that person who wants to buy the car that car is always having problems. وَمِنْهَا إِذَا رَأَيْتَ مُتَفَقِّهًا. If you see a mutafaqqihu, young person learning Islam, if you see a young man learning Islam, يَتَرَدَّدُ إِلَى مُبْتَدِعٍ, he is going to learn from a person of innovation, Al-Farq, or a person who does not have good religion. بِأَخْذِ عَنْهُ الْعِلْمَ يَأْخُذُ عَنْهُ الْعِلْمِ. He goes to take knowledge from him. And خِفْتَ أَنْ يَتَضَرَّرَ الْمُتَفَقِّهُ بِذَلِكَ. And you are afraid that person learning Islam, يَتَضَرَّرُ, harm will reach him. Hey, you see that person you are going to learn from, he will destroy your religion. He himself is a bad person. Don't go to him. You have a duty to explain to that young man. Don't go to so. Why? He is like this. He is a person of bid'ah, or he is a person of fisk, and so on and so forth. When he said this one, he now gave a warning. He said sometimes some people will say it out of jealousy. Shaykh A will say that Shaykh B is bad out of jealousy. Or he just wants to spoil his name. So when you now ask him, so who should I go to say, come to me? Me, I'm the Fadila to Shaykh. May Allah protect us from this kind of thing. People do it a lot. They will see you with a person say, that Shaykh, hey, So if you ask me, what is hey, say, you start saying, What is the problem? He will not be able to explain. Shaitan will make him tell a lie. Why? He wants you to be coming to his own sheikh too. He doesn't have anything concrete against the other person. So be careful. Because inna sam'a wal fu'ada, inna sam'a wal basara wal fu'ada, kullu ulaika kana anhu mas'ula. Allah will ask you. That sheikh is learned. Everything that he says, he proves it with ahadith and athar and the verses of the Quran. But you are saying what you are saying about him just because of jealousy, or because shaitan wants you to make him feel bad or to bring him down. Don't forget, once the intention is that you want to bring him down, then it is what? Haram. It's haram. I think we can proceed to the fifth one now. The fifth reason why we can talk about a person behind him is that أن يكون مجاهرا بفسقه أو بدعته. أن يكون مجاهرا بفسقه أو بدعته. أن يكون مجاهرا بفسقه. A person is openly showing his sinfulness. Very sinful. Openly. Or bid'atihi, or his innovation. Openly. When it becomes like that, you criticize him. Kal-mujahiri bishurbil khamr. Like a fact just say, táwọn bá kọ́kọ́ mu shinap, àwọn ò lè lọ sí programs. I have heard that before. That being kalura, I've heard it before. He means that when they drink alcohol, they can misbehave very well in front of people. He said, he's saying that to people because his head is not correct again. Now when he drinks alcohol, he shows it in the open. It's bad. It's very bad. So you can criticize him openly. This person is openly, you criticize him openly. Criticize him openly, you mention him, you criticize that evil that he's doing. Like those who criticize the companions of the Prophet Muhammad. They mention the companions with evil. They mention Abu Hurairah. It's always Abu Hurairah. Radiallahu anhu. You know why? You know why it's always Abu Hurairah they are talking about? The bulk of the Sunnah came from Abu Hurairah. The bulk of the Sunnah came from who? Abu Hurairah. So their intention is when they attack Abu Hurairah, they are attacking the Sunnah. Radiallahu anhu. And Abu Hurairah was very eminent companion of the Prophet Muhammad. Let me give you one proof of that in the Sunnah. The Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allahumma ghfir li Abi Hurairah wa liman istaghfara li ummi. Oh Allah, forgive Abu Hurairah. Forgive anybody who begs Allah to forgive his mother. Forgive Abu Hurairah and his mother. وَلِمَنِ اسْتَغْفَرَ لَهُمَا. Forgive anyone who is asking Allah to forgive the two of them. May Allah forgive Abu Hurairah. What it is that I just did now? I want Allah to forgive me from the dua of the Prophet Muhammad. If Abu Hurairah was bad, will the Prophet say that about him? Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Oh Allah, anybody who says, Allahumma ghfir li Abi Hurairah wa li ummihi, oh Allah, forgive that person. Allahumma ghfir li Abi Hurairah wa li ummihi. Ameen. You see Abu Hurairah. So those who go in the public, you see them, they abuse Abu Hurairah, they abuse other companions of the Prophet. People like this, they are mujahiruna bil fiski. They are people who openly show sinfulness. Another group of people who openly show sinfulness are celebrities, they call them. They openly show sinfulness. They dress badly. They take alcohol. They take riba. They dance. They make music. All of these, and each of them is haram. So you can criticize them in Islam. You mention them, these people are bad. Don't follow them. Don't make them your own models. The sixth condition. So if you are now criticizing a model, some people say, Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Ghiba, Ghiba, Zikruka akhaka bima yakam. Go and sit down. This one does not form from the aspects of Ghiba. This is from the aspects of what? An-Naseehah lil Muslimin. The sixth one is At-Ta'rif. You want to make the person be known. You are not abusing him. You only want to talk about him. Ibn Mas'ud. You only want to talk about him. You are not insulting him. فَإِذَا كَانَ الْإِنسَانُ مَعْرُوفًا بِلَقَبٍ. So if a person became very popular with a nickname, Kal-A'mash. You know what Al-A'mash means? Someone who has a defective sight. What is it called? Al-A'mash. So you say A'mash. You are not insulting him. You say, you know Abdur-Raūf? You say, which Abdur-Raūf? That Abdur-Raūf has one thing in his eyes. You only want to make him be known. You only want to differentiate him from another Abdur-Raūf. As was in the case of one of the scholars from the students of Anas ibn Malik, Humayd in the Tawil. Have we heard this name before? Humayd. Humayd in the Tawil. He was from the students of who? Anas. He was called Tawil. For Tarif, he had a neighbor that was short. He was taller than the neighbor. That's all. It's like saying big Alamin and small Alamin. Is big Alamin so big? It's not so big. But he is bigger than the small Alamin. So that's why you give the two of them. One of them is what? Big. One of them is what? Small. It's not because he is also small. Small Alamin is not small now. Allah, are you small? It's not small for his age. It's okay. But with respect to Popola, he is big. Popola is taller than Allah. He's older than Allah, but the two of them are Al-Amin, Al-Amin. So when they call Al-Amin, Popola, they say what? Big Al-Amin. When they refer to Allah, they say, so Allah is not small, and he will never be small. Do you understand? So things like this used to happen. So if you call a person like this, you are not insulting him, you are not abusing him. Do you understand? So you say, it's giba to be mentioning that somebody is big, somebody is small. Say, it's not giba. I am just mentioning him so that he may be known. So from those names are Al-A'mash. Al-A'mash is the one who has defects in his eyes. Wal-A'raj, one of the scholars from the students of Abu Hurairah, Abdur-Rahman ibn Hurmuz. What was he called? Al-A'raj. Do you know Al-A'raj? Someone who has a wrinkled knee. You know the knee? When the knee is wrinkled like this, That is Al-A'raj. He used to be called Al-A'raj. It is not because they want to abuse him. They just want to do what? They want you to know this, which one are they. His name is Abdur-Rahman. His name was Abdur-Rahman. So they will say Al-A'raj. Al-A'raj. Likewise, Al-Ahwal. They are describing the man, they say is Ahwalu. What does Ahwalu mean? Al-Ahwal is the person who has something like a roundness on his eye, the black part of the eye. What's it called? The black part of the eye, what's it called? Some say iris, some say lens. The eye is somehow. You will think that it's looking at you, but it's not looking at you. Like a howl. As if the eye is round. You know that eyesight. You're about to say, oh, you're dark. It's not an abuse at all. They are just referring to him, Al-Ahwal. So they can refer to him, they can say, Khalid Al-Ahwal. It's not abuse. They can say Zayd Al-Ahwal. They can say Abdur-Rahman Al-Ahwal. It's allowed. It's not to abuse him, but only to show that that was how he was. Likewise, Al-Aftas. The Aftas is the one who has a nose that people will find funny. He has a funny nose, maybe pressed. So they say he is Aftas. In the history of Islam, there was Salim ibn Ajlan al-Aftas from the scholars of Hadith. He was Aftas. When they referred to these names, Al-Imam al-Nawawi said, جاز تعريفه بذلك بنية التعريف. جاز ماذا؟ تعريفه بذلك بنية التعريف. It's allowed. You can mention him like that with the intention to make the people to know him. You don't intend to abuse him. Or you can say, you have two English teachers in the school, yes. Which one are you talking about? Abu Sufyan tall, Abu Sufyan short. The short is not short, but with respect to the tall one. Abu Sufyan tall, Abu Sufyan short, and so on and so forth. Imam al-Nawawi said, جاز تعريفه بذلك بنية التعريف ويحرم إطلاقه على جهة النقص. It is prohibited for you to say that about him with the intention of bringing him down. It's haram. If it is with the intention of bringing him down, it's haram. If with the intention of just explaining to talk about him, it is lawful. Al-Imam al-Nawawi said, رحمه الله, فلو أمكن التعريف بغيره. But if you can make him be known with other than that, كان أولى, that is better. I give you an example. Instead of saying Alamin big and Alamin small, why not say Popola and Alamin? That one does not have any problem. كان أولى, that is more preferable. He said رحمه الله, فهذه ستة أسباب ذكرها العلماء إما تباح بها الغيبة على ما ذكرناه. Imam al-Nawawi said these 6 things, the scholars have mentioned it as the things that make al-ghiba to be allowed. 6 things. The first one is what? At-Tibyān. The second one is what? Al-Isti'ānatu ala tabyin al-munkar. The third one is what? Al-Istiftā. The fourth one is what? Tahdhīru al-Muslimīna min ash-sharr. The fifth one is what? أن يكون مجاهرا بفسقه أو بدعته. The sixth one is what? At-Ta'rīf. Li-Ta'rīf, you can mention somebody Li-Ta'rīf. One day one young boy came to me here. He said, Ustaz, I said, now, please tell my daddy to be leaving beard. I was smiling. Because before he was born, I used to tell his daddy to leave his beard. Did you hear what I said? One young boy came after class here, one day, about 4 or 5 weeks ago. He said, please tell my daddy to be leaving beard. The daddy shaves the beard. I just smiled. I said, okay, inshallah. So one day his daddy came. His daddy was with me and I was with him. So I now told the daddy that your son said, I should tell you to be leaving your beard. He started laughing, say, hey, I have discharged my responsibility. This is al-isti'anatu ala tadhir. You are asking somebody to help you to solve a problem, to correct something that is bad. It is lawful in Islam. So right in front of himself and his daddy, I now told him, hey, you daddy, did I not used to tell you before you gave back to this boy that you should leave your beard? So all these things, what the boy did, it is not from the aspects of ghibah. Because they have to say that his daddy is leaving his beard removed. He's removing his beard, that is ghibah. That's a fault of the daddy. He wants that somebody should help him do something to correct the situation. So it does not come from ghibah again. Why? He was not saying it to bring insult. He was saying it because he wanted goodness. Jazakallahu khair. Barakallahu. I hope that that's clear. So when Imām Ibn Rajab, go back to your books now. Al-Farq Bayna An-Naseehah wa said اعلم أن ذكر الإنسان بما يكره محرم. We now know that it's haram. Abi, إذا كان المقصود منه مجرد الذم والعيب والنقص. فأما إن كان فيه مصلحة لعامة المسلمين خاصة لبعضهم وكان المقصود منه تحصيل تلك المصلحة فليس بمحرم بل مندوب إليه. Is this clear to us? We have known those circumstances that ghibah is allowed. We have known them. So Imam Ibn Rajab continued and said, وقد قرر علماء الحديث هذا في كتبهم في الجرح والتعديل. قرر علماء الحديث هذا. The scholars of hadith have affirmed this thing that I have said, that there are circumstances that compulsively you must expose that person. We have mentioned 6 of them, and one of them has 4 branches. It says, قرر علماء الحديث. The scholars of hadith have affirmed it. في كتبهم, in their books في الجرح والتعديل. In their books about al-jarh wa-ta'dil. What does al-jarh mean? Wa-ta'dil. Al-jarh is when you say about a person something that does not make us accept his hadith. That is al-jarh. Like the man we gave an example of. What did we say he does? He cannot keep records properly. He forgets. So when you say about him that this brother Abdullah Mannan, he forgets something easily, or Abdullah forgets something easily. I'm just saying, I'm just mentioning any name, or Abdur-Rahman, anybody. If you say that he forgets something easily, that's your statement that he forgets easily. It's called what? Al-Jarh. Likewise, if you say, Abdur-Raūf, anything you say to him, it will stick to his mind. What have you done to him? At-Tibyān. You have said something that will make us rely on him. So when you say something that makes us rely on somebody, what have you done? You are making ta'dil. When the scholars make something say something that makes us not to rely on somebody, what have they done? They have done al-jarh. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I think that hadith also occurs in Al-Adab al-Mufrad. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reported that hadith, that one day the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Ni'ma al-rajulu Abu Hurairah, Ni'ma al-rajulu Umar, Ni'ma al-rajulu Abu Bayna, Ni'ma al-rajulu Usayd ibn al-Hudayr, Ni'ma al-rajulu Thabit ibn Qais al-Shammas, Ni'ma al-rajulu Mu'adh ibn Amri ibn al-Jamuh, Ni'ma al-rajulu Mu'adh ibn Jabal. The Prophet said to alayhi salam, say, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Ni'ma al-rajul. He's a very nice man. This is what at-ta'deel. When he said Ni'ma al-rajul Umar, this is what at-ta'deel for Umar. When he said Ni'ma al-rajul Abu Ubaidah, what is he doing? Ta'deel. He's mentioning them with respect, with fairness, with esteem, with something that will make us to rely on those people. And likewise, in that same hadith, the Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, بِئْسَ الرَّجُلُ فُلَانِ بِئْسَ الرَّجُلُ فُلَانِ حَتَّى عَدَّ سَبْعَةً. So person is a bad person. So person is a bad person. So person is a bad person. Until he counted how many? 7. He counted 7 persons, alayhi salam. The scholar said those people he was mentioning, they are from who? Munafiq. He was mentioning them. So person is bad. So person is bad. So when he said so person is good and reliable, it's bad. When he said this one is bad, it's jarh. Now those that he had jarh of them, you can't bring them in the court of law. To say, oh, let me make him my witness. Why? Because Allah says, وَأَشْهِدُوا ذَوَيْ عَدْلٍ. Make those who are people of fairness and goodness amongst you. They are the ones you should make as witnesses. So when they say it's a bad person, بِئْسَ الرَّجُلُ فُلَانًا, بِئْسَ الرَّجُلُ فُلَانًا, is it the one they are saying that is bad that you bring as a witness? So this is al-jarh wa ta'dil. Now for those who report a hadith, all these kinds of studies have been made. So Ibn Rajab said, rahimahullah, وَقَدْ قَرَّرَ عُلَمَاءُ الْحَدِيثِ هَذَا فِي فِقْهِهِمْ فِي الْجَرْحِ وَالتَّعْدِيلِ. The scholars of hadith, they have affirmed it in the books of hadith, that it is lawful. What did they say? وَذَكَرُوا الْفَرْقَ بَيْنَ جَرْحِ الرُّوَاةِ وَبَيْنَ الْغِيبَةِ. They mentioned that there is a big difference between saying about a reporter, this reporter is weak, this reporter is weak, this reporter is weak, this reporter is weak. They say that is not what? It is not riba. What is it? It is An-Naseehah. It is al-jarh. And that jarh is Nāsir for the ummah. So that we know that when he reports hadith, we will not take his hadith. We judge his hadith. It is al-jarh. So al-jarh is not al-riba. And likewise, it is not from al-Tibyān. So وَذَكَرُوا الْفَرْقَ بَيْنَ جَرْحِ الرُّوَاةِ وَبَيْنَ الْغِيبَةِ. The scholars of hadith in their books, from the first of those who did that was Al-Imām al-Shafi'i in his book Al-Umm. Another person who did that, affirming that there is difference between jarh al-ruwat and what? Al-Ghiba, was Al-Imām Muslim. He mentioned that in the Muqaddimah of his Sahih. Another person who did that, saying that there is difference between Ghiba. There is difference between Ghiba and what? Ghiba was jarh al-ruwat. Another person who did that was Imam al-Tirmidhi. Likewise, Al-Khatib al-Baghdadi, Abu Bakr in Al-Kifaya fi Ilm al-Riwayah, and others like Ibn Abi Hatim in the Muqaddimah of his book Al-Jarh wa Ta'dil. So the scholars of Hadith, they say it a lot. That for you to say that somebody is a weak reporter of Hadith, it is not from the aspects of Iman. وَرَدُّوا عَلَى مَنْ سَوَّى بَيْنَهُمَا مِنَ الْمُتَعَبِّدِينَ وَغَيْرِهِمْ مِمَّنْ لَا يَتَّسِعُ عِلْمُهُ. رَدُّوا عَلَى مَنْ سَوَّى بَيْنَهُمَا مِنَ الْمُتَعَبِّدِينَ. The scholars of Hadith rejected and refuted those who consider Jarh al-Ruwat and what? And Ghiba as the same. So when you say that person is a weak reporter of Hadith, maybe you call somebody Abdullah ibn Abdur-Raūf. When he reports Hadith, his Hadith is weak. Why? He has a bad memory. You say, why are you talking about Muslim like that? That a Muslim has bad memory, that is Ghiba. Say, hey, there is difference between Ghiba and Jarh al-Ruwat. Say, somebody, this man that I'm saying, he's not a righteous person. May Allah protect us. That's why, if you are upon the path of knowledge, you must be careful about sins. Sins will bring judgment to you. No matter your knowledge. Once they say you have fisk with you, you are gone. You are gone. Fisk. Disobedience to Allah. You don't pray regularly. You come late for Salah. You hide in the bathrooms. You do other evils in the secret. And it becomes known. And people say that about you. No matter what you become. So that's why the best of it, if you want to remain upon the path of knowledge, you must avoid sins. You must avoid sins. Because once the label comes to you, once the label comes, you are gone. May Allah protect all of us. It's very important to avoid sins. If you don't avoid sins, Jarh will come to you. So the day you sit down, Fadila to Shaykh, they say, hey, this one, we know him now, he's like this. You say, hey, so you used to be like, everybody just back there, look and go away. And your leg will be heavy on the ground. Bima kasabat yada. Because of what your hands have put forward against you. So anybody who wants to survive on the path of knowledge, one of the first things you must avoid is what? Al-Ma'siyah, sins. Otherwise, you will become a majroor. Jarh will come to you and you become what? Majroor. Al-Imām ibn Hibban, his own book on Al-Jarh wa Ta'dil, what did he call it? Al-Majruhin. Those who have been given Jarh. You find narrations of people who steal from zakat money. It is Jarh. This one is steals from zakat money. So today you can find someone when there is food in the kitchen, he goes to steal from it. It's Jarh. So tomorrow when you come and say, Alhamdulillah, what else say, my friend, go and sit down. You that you are fasting, you steal food, you steal Bible, you steal pencil, you do this. Go ask. Any person who wants to survive upon the path of knowledge must avoid sin. If he does not avoid sins, Al-Jarh will come to him. He's reading Quran. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. People say, you that you know that he's behaving like this. So don't do something that will make Al-Jarh to come to you. And then you become majroor. And Al-Jarh is not Ghiba. Al-Jarh is not what? Ghiba. So the scholars of Hadith, وَرَدُّوا عَلَى مَنْ سَوَّى بَيْنَ. They refuted those who are equalizing between Al-Jarh and what? Ghiba. مِنَ الْمُتَعَبِّدِينَ. Some people who are making ibadah. So when you say, hey, this is bid'ah, that person is a person of bid'ah, say, hey, subhanallah, subhanallah. Don't make riba. Muta'abidun, they are form of this. In the history of Islam, you have people, all they are concerned, they're making nawafil, they are not revising their books. One of them was Munkadir ibn Muhammad ibn Munkadir. Munkadir ibn Man, ibn Muhammad ibn Munkadir. His father, Muhammad ibn Munkadir, was a big scholar in Medina. Muhammad ibn Munkadir was very learned. He was in the status of people like Imam Malik. So is he now learned or not? Very learned. But the boy, the son, Munkadir, kana muta'abbidan. All his own nawafil, he was not revising his books. So he must combine between ibadah and ittila. Make all your nawafil, study your books too. Read the books. Memorize your hadith. Memorize your nahwu, your sarf, your balagha, and your scores. Know them. For him, it was Ibrāhīm. So when they asked him hadith, he said, I think it's like, because he wasn't having time to revise his books. فَجُرِحَ فَصَارَ مِنَ الْمَجْرُحِينَ. So his hadith began, he was giving joy. So some of these kinds of people in the history of Islam, ibadah. People who are like that today are Jama'at Tabligh. Why is this? Ikram of fasik. Tukrimul fasik. Someone is smoking cigarette, say, no, brother, akramakallah ala smoking cigarette. They say, no, if you honor him like that, this is mujahirun bil fisk. It's coming in the open with sinfulness. Criticize him. It is not given to criticize such persons. But those muta'abidun say, no, that's giba. Scholars of hadith refuted them. And they say that the reasons why they are saying that that is giba is that La yuttasa'u ilmuhu aw la yattasi'u ilmuhu. Their knowledge is not wide. Their knowledge is vague. If their knowledge was wide, they will not refer to An-Naseehah or Jarhu as what? Riba. And Imām At-Tirmidhi, rahimahullah, he also mentioned that. Many others, Khatib al-Baghdad. Let me read to us what Imām At-Tirmidhi said, rahimahullah. He said, rahimahullah, وَقَدْ عَابَ بَعْضُ مَنْ لَا يَفْعَمُ. He called it بَعْضُ مَنْ لَا يَفْعَمُ. Some people who do not have understanding, عَابُوا عَلَىٰ أَصْحَابِ الْحَدِيثِ الْكَلَامَ فِي الرِّجَالِ. They were criticizing the scholars of hadith. If you are a student of hadith, you always talk about that. This one is da'if. This one is munkar. This one is kadhab. There is a liar, ulama refer to as Dajjal min al-Dajjajila. They refer to him as Dajjal. What does Dajjal mean? Someone who lies a lot. He lies because the basic thing about Dajjal is what? Lies. So the Dajjal. Why? He lies a lot. So this is common with the scholars of hadith. Very common with them. So somebody says, Giba, say, hey, this is not Giba. Jump from what is not Giba. The reason you think that it is Giba is that your knowledge is small. Imam At-Tirmidhi said, وَقَدْ عَابَ بَعْضُ مَنْ لَا يَفْهَمُ عَلَى أَصْحَابِ الْحَدِيثِ الْكَلَامَ فِي الرِّجَالِ. Some of those who lack understanding have criticized the scholars of hadith about their criticizing people about their criticizing people because of those faults that we have mentioned. From those who said that, who refuted Muta'abbidun also was who? Al-Khatib al-Baghdadi. Many scholars did that. Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali also did that in a bigger book, Sharh ila al-Tirmidhi. He mentioned there, explaining the statement of Al-Imām in Tirmidhi, to say that you are saying that the scholars of Hadith are doing ghibah. They are not doing ghibah. Jarh al-Ruwat laysa min al-ghibah. What did they say? Jarh al-Ruwat laysa min al-ghibah. To mention the faults of those who report Hadith, it is not part of ghibah. Are we understanding the difference between At-Ta'ir and ghibah? At-Ta'ir and Nāsir. So Jarh al-Ruwat is nasihatun lil-ummah. You want to tell the ummah, don't fall into the mistake of so and so person. Is not a reliable person. So that's Jarh. For that person, it's nasiha. Liman lil-ummah. Is this clear to us? وَقَدْ قَرَّرَ عُلَمَاءُ الْحَدِيثِ هَذَا فِي كُتُبِهِمْ فِي الْجَرْحِ وَالتَّعْدِيلِ. The scholars of Hadith have affirmed this in their books on Al-Jarh wa-Ta'dil. وَذَكَرُوا الْفَرْقَ بَيْنَ جَرْحِ الرُّوَاتِ. They have mentioned the difference between speaking about the faults of those who report Ahadith, وَبَيْنَ الْغِيبَةِ, the difference between that and Ghiba. وَرَدُّوا عَلَى مَنْ سَوَّى بَيْنَهُمَا مِنَ الْمُتَعَبِّدِينَ. They have refuted those who think that both Ghiba and Jarh al-Ruwat are the same thing. The scholars of Hadith have refuted them. Those who think that Jarh al-Ruwat and Ghiba are the same, or that Jarh al-Ruwat is Ghiba, or Ghiba is Jarh al-Ruwat, as an example. They refuted them. They say that the reason why they connect the two of them is because of small knowledge. So when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there's a hadith, one of the companions, will we call him a companion? One of the people was coming to visit the Prophet Muhammad. So when the Prophet saw him coming, the Prophet said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Bi'sa ibn al-Ashira, the bad boy of a family. That person is bad boy. That bad boy. Our mother Aisha was there. This person is a bad person. So the person came into the house and greeted the Prophet and said, how are you? I said, fine. When the person went away, what do you think Aisha will do? She said, Messenger of Allah. When he was coming, he said he was Bi'sa ibn al-Ashira. When he came, you would talk to him and say, yes, I want you to know who that person is. The scholar said that person at that time, he had not accepted Islam, but he was behaving like a Muslim. Does his true condition need to be exposed or not? So the Prophet exposed it. This is Islam. Do you understand? So this is judged for him, and it is not from the aspects of Ghiba. Why? So that the people do not think that he's a Muslim when he's not actually a Muslim. Something like that, and I'll stop with that. Happened last week with myself and some brothers. I have a sister that I've been disturbing for the past 7 years. I want her to come back to Islam. May Allah make her return to Islam. May Allah make this woman to return to Islam. May Allah make her to return to Islam. We have talked. She will raise issues, I will explain. She will raise issues, I will explain. What about this? I explain. She said, okay, stand, don't worry, I'll call you back again. We stop talking. 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Another issue will come. She will be asking again. We have been talking. So last week I wanted to make her help some people. So when I told those people, because she's still wearing hijab. But as far as I believe now, she's not a Muslim. She has crossed the boundary. She has made ridda, kufr. All the excuses have said, this person is kafir. So before I used to say taslim to her, but now I don't say taslim to her. If she greets me, I don't say taslim. I say, how are you? How is your work? But the person has good character. It is unfortunate. May Allah protect all of us. So when I was telling those brothers to go and meet her, that she would help them, I have to tell them that you see her, she's a kafira, despite the fact that she's wearing hijab. So when the brothers came, and that was the report I got, she went, Salam alaikum, give her hand. She was greeting them, La bas tahuri inshallah. She was saying all these kalimat. But the point is that she said she does not believe that Allah deserves to be worshipped. Is that not kufr? Allah is kufr. Allah is kufr. Careful. And we have given it. Why shouldn't Allah deserve worship when He created you? He alone created you. So He alone should be worshipped. He created you alone. ما أشهدتهم خلق السماوات والأرض ولا خلق أنفسهم وما كنت متخذ المضلين عضدا. I did not seek support from anybody when I was creating the heavens and earth. So I have a right to demand that I alone should be worshipped. Allah has a right to demand that. Subhanallah. That's why the worst zulm is to worship any other than Allah. Why? That is the worst way you can put something in a place that does not belong. Allah deserves worship. So when you don't worship Him, it is zulm. Was why the man said to his son that Inna shirka zulm. It's zulm. So when the brother was reporting back to me, he said, when your sister came, she was very useful, she was this, she was even making labas, she was making dua, say, Keferi. The brother said, Keferi? He said, yes, I told you before you went to her. Why? She does not believe that Allah alone deserves to worship. Any person who does not believe that Allah alone deserves to be worshipped, that person is what? Kafir. Even if you are wearing hijab, wearing cap. May Allah protect all of us. So I have to tell them, tahdir Allah, so that they be careful about the person they are going to meet. She has a poison, but you can benefit from this. She can help you arrange, and she really, really helped them. The brother told me, this person, this woman helped us. I said, Allah will help me and bring her back to Islam. May Allah help me bring this woman back to Islam. Young person, she has not married. It is this problem that is not making her to marry. She said, who will I marry? I can't marry a Muslim who wants me to... You know, I know what? In Ramadan she will fast. But she has that problem. She's not making zina. You know, Islam has impacted on her a lot of things. So no zina, no handshake, no mixing with men, all these things are still there. But Tawheed is gone. May Allah bring this woman back to Islam. So people like that, we tell the people, hey, if you have to do something, be careful. She has a problem like this. If it were a man, the same thing. This man has social problems. So you know you are dealing with a person that has a problem. May Allah protect all of us. Bismillah will continue from here in the next class. Can we have one or two questions? Just one or two. Maghrib is nearby. Asr is late. Maghrib comes early. So our classes will be brief like this. Maghrib, Asr is late. Asr comes around 4:15, 4:20. Abi? Abdur-Raūf. كيف كانت العصر عندك؟ صلاة العصر ما بعد الربع رابعة ربع So it's about quarter after or so. So it's good to wait until 4:20. So observe, if you start Asr Adhan by 4:20, at least you give 10 minutes for Nafila. That's 4:30. The earliest time you can make Asr is 4:25. So by the time you finish Asr, 15 minutes. That's how many? 4:45. By the time you get here, it is after 5 o'clock. That was what happened today. Asr is late now. Well, I'm not saying, things have changed now. We are old men now. It happens. I'll be reading something and then I'll stop seeing what I'm reading. Allah. I'm still a young man. I'm okay. Is it haram to make the ghibah of a kafir? Is it haram? We'll come back to this question in the next class, inshallah. Abdur-Raūf, please read it. You can't teach it. If a Muslim commits some form of kabair, major sins, apart from shirk, and the person still observes salah and fasts, can we consider him a Muslim? Yes, he's still a Muslim. He has everything, unless the person is upon kufr or shirk or nifaqul akbar. And nifaqul akbar, major hypocrisy, or shirk, al-shirkul akbar, or kufr, al-kufrul akbar. In that circumstance, that is when the rights of being a Muslim goes off that person. Apart from that, yes, the person still has a right to be dealt with, to be related with as a Muslim. I hope that it's clear. You still relate with that person as a Muslim. Allah. Can we stop here? I think we should stop here today. Because Maghrib is just nearby us. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك